Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Realm Talks To. Today, I'm really pleased to welcome John Jones, Head of Conveyancing at Jackson Lees Group. Good morning, John. How are you?
Good morning. Very well, thank you, Sarah.
Great. Thanks for joining us today. So you joined Jackson Lees, I believe, with 4 decades of conveyancing experience under your belt. So congratulations, I think, first of all, for such a milestone. Why did you decide to make the move, I guess, at this point in your career?
Well, it's quite interesting, really, because I joined Jackson Lee shortly after my 60th birthday.
Okay, congratulations.
And one of the plans that I had for my own development, if you wish, was that I do hope to retire around 65, 66.
Yeah.
But I wanted to join a firm where hopefully I could pass on my knowledge and experience
Okay.
and help develop and build on what was a very successful residential conveyancing team that was already in place at Jackson Lees, but also hopefully to identify my successor and spend those next few years helping to mentor them and develop them into taking over from me and pushing and building the team to go forward.
Amazing. So hopefully it'll be the best 5 years of the 45. Hopefully there at
Hopefully,
Jackson
yeah.
Lees.
I mean, that's the plan. I've always enjoyed conveyancing, and I've always enjoyed teaching people about conveyancing. So it was the right mix for me. And Jackson Lees was a firm I knew, great reputation.
Yeah.
I knew people who already were working there, and it was just an ideal fit.
Yeah, no, sounds perfect. And obviously, you mentioned your love of conveyancing there. I think the website, the Jackson Lee's website, describes you as a conveyancing fanatic. I think it goes as far as to say that. So, what do you love about the practice area? Why do you think it's such a great sort of area to practice?
Well, I say I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
I think my love for conveyancing, if I can put it that way, was engendered by the first person I went to work for, and he was a chap called Bernie Bennett, and he was very forward-thinking and innovative, particularly at the time, and he encouraged me to go off and qualify. He paid for me to go to day release and night school to qualify, which was always wonderful. But I think conveyancing, because it covers practically every area of law that you can think of. So, most people think of conveyancing as some sort of process,
Hmm.
but you do have to have an understanding of, contract law, believe it or not, elements of criminal law, tort, and all those different areas that you can bring together. And I like the diversity and the challenge that brings. And because I am fascinated by it, I'm constantly learning and trying to develop and understand it. So
Even after 4 decades, that's
even after 4 days, I don't know everything, but and the reason I don't know everything is because there's always something new to learn every day. So you know,
Well, I was
um,
I was just reading this morning about the proposed reforms with leasehold, and I know I don't pretend to understand it in the way that you would, but yeah, I guess there's just so much always. It's just an arena that's always changing, as you say. So there's always something new to learn.
yeah, and you've got to try, hopefully, and to look at that as a challenge, not a negative. That it is something that, okay, that they're adding something else to the process, but actually, how can you adopt that and make it a positive thing? And that's what it should be.
Absolutely. And yeah, I've never thought about conveyancing actually in the way that you've put it there, all the kind of different aspects of law kind of pulled into one. And then, very, very client facing as well, isn't it? So you've got to kind of have all the other skills as well as the technical skills, those kind of interpersonal skills as well.
Well, we are helping clients make the biggest financial decision of their lives, and there's lots of talk in the press about the public expect us to be able to deal with conveyancing as if they were ordering a book or a CD from Amazon. I don't think the public are like that. I think they understand that you know, this is a big decision. They obviously want it done quickly, and they want it done right. Um, but I think they understand that it is a, you know, this is a legal issue and it has to be done correctly. And you know, hopefully, what we do as conveyancers makes that difference, and helps them get and achieve their goals and their dream.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jackson Lee's actually worth mentioning here, I think, is powered by Mapped Group, and Mapped stands for making a positive difference, doesn't it? So, how does that sort of mantra, if you like, that I guess the firms under Mapped kind of stand by, how does that play out sort of day to day for you in your role?
Well, it's one of the attractions of joining Jackson Lees, of course, was that, you know, making a positive difference is kind of their, you know, their shibboleth, if you like, their war cry, and it ties very well into my own kind of personal philosophy about conveyancing. I've kind of got three things of my own that I like to adopt, which is, you know, try and make it right first time, try and take pride, in what you're doing, and you know, that pride element is about being, you know, having integrity and, you know, having the energy and the commitment to do the job well, and obviously that, you know, to strive to continuously improve, and I think those three things linked to making a positive difference means that, I'm actually, to a certain extent, I'm exemplifying that. You know, that's what I try to strive to do every day, and I hope that's reflected in the feedback that we get from our clients, and how they, see what a good job we've done for them.
Yeah, makes absolute sense. And you're actually on the board, I think, of, is it the Society of Licensed Conveyancers? Have I got that
Yeah,
title right?
yes, yeah.
And tell us a bit about your role there then on the board. What does that entail?
So obviously the licensed conveyancers is one of the forms of authorised persons or lawyers out there that can
Yeah.
conduct conveyancing. They're regulated by the Council for Licensed Conveyancers, but the Society is its representative body. So there's a number of, you know, well-established and experienced conveyancers on that board. Um, I tend to be involved more so on the learning and development and the education side.
Okay.
I try and, you know, so for example, the Society has its conference in November, and I'll be delivering 2 training sessions to conveyancing students. And I used to help do external verification of college providers who were delivering the training courses to potential conveyancers. So society, you know, like most things, you know, you need to have a voice in the marketplace, so that people understand where we sit. And I think it's also helpful in my day-to-day role, because obviously I'm keeping abreast of new and exciting innovations that may be coming along, to make the experience much more better for clients.
Absolutely. I mean, that sounds fantastic. You must be so busy all all of the time. I'm getting a real sense, John, that there's a real thread, I think, running through sort of your career and your role, which is kind of, as you said at the beginning, I think passing on that knowledge. And maybe it comes from the experience you had, you know, with your predecessor, and the person
Yeah.
that you referred to as kind of being your inspiration for your career. I'm getting a real sense that you like to sort of pay it forward in a way, and kind of give people the opportunities that you had.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I mean, one of my sons and my nephew and niece are all lawyers, and I have to be honest and say that when they were doing their land law elements of their training courses and degrees, they didn't enjoy that. But that's an area of law that I find fascinating, because it's all linked to conveyancing. Um, I think those of us who have been doing conveyancing for a long time, I think it's important that we encourage and mentor and develop people who are going to take over from us. And
And
you
not be
know,
scared of that, I guess, as well. You know,
yeah,
that's
and
sometimes a
not,
missing
yeah,
piece.
yeah. The you know, all this knowledge and experience, it can't be trapped inside your head. It needs to be let out, and it needs to be there to support people. Conveyancing has changed dramatically since I first started. Just the pure digital aspects of it, completely alien from what I did when I first started, where we were still literally, writing out forms with a pen. But that doesn't mean that you can't pass on and share that knowledge and experience and enable them to see. I think it's that whole thing, isn't it, that history teaches the future. So, and I enjoy it. And I get a real buzz out of helping people better understand what they're doing, and that bounces on to the clients, because the clients get a much better experience from their lawyer if that lawyer's as well educated and well trained and well skilled as they possibly can be.
Of course. Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. And I know that one thing that Jackson Lees is particularly focused on is kind of giving the team members their very clear progression framework, lots of opportunities to develop. And I think there's actually an in-house sort of training academy, isn't there, at Jackson Lees? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the training academy has what we call the learning hub. So it's a dedicated space within the business,
Okay.
where obviously every member of staff, regardless of what they're doing and in which department they're in, have the opportunity to develop and grow their career. And Jackson Lees obviously supports staff members who may want to qualify as a solicitor, who are looking to become chartered legal executives or licensed conveyancers. And I think it's that whole gambit of, there are lots of routes to qualification, and the training academy provides that service and that support. So, for example, as well as being a licensed conveyancer, I'm a chartered legal executive. So I am the, if you like, the training ambassador for Jackson Lees for those people wanting to go through the Silex route. But it's well led. There is a good structure and policy to it, and people, there's an openness and transparency about what people want to do, and what the firm will be willing to support and help them through. And linked to that is that the academy itself also offers all those extras, and these are value added to me. So personal skills courses, the kind of stuff that you need to understand, how to communicate with clients, how to deal with difficult conversations, but also being conscious that Jackson Lees very much supports kind of the areas of social justice. So the academy also delivers courses on, mental health, on, neurodiversity, and things of that nature. And it's there constantly. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Every month there are, dedicated courses, both to help you move on and qualify, but also to, broaden your knowledge and experience about more personal matters.
Yeah.
It's
So
really
I
good.
guess for the people that, I guess, like you, continual self-development and love of learning, I guess, if that's important to you, I can imagine the firm's a great place to be, because that's always available.
It is, and the firm very much encourages staff members to suggest things that should be brought in and discussed. I mean, one of my favourite days was a session supporting World Vision Day or World Sight Day, and someone from the Guide Dogs from the Blind turned up. Staff members with visual impairments, got the opportunity to discuss what they did and what the firm could do to support them. So
Incredible.
and that came from the staff members themselves, not necessarily from the academy, but the academy is willing to look at that and promote these types of courses. It's brilliant.
That's great. I mean, it's great, I think, to, see a law firm demonstrating that real commitment to making that positive difference. Like, clearly it's not a tick box exercise
No,
or a
no, no.
slogan. You know,
No, it,
you live and breathe it.
it's very much part of the fabric of Jackson Lee's, and certainly very much part of the MAP group philosophy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And something that people also might not know about you at this point as well is that I think you used to work in private client as well, didn't you? You had a sort of a previous life working within that team.
Yeah, I mean, someone like me who started conveyancing such a long time ago, you used to carry out conveyancing and wills and probate work, and they used to run, kind of side by side. So, as well as a licensed conveyancer, I'm a licensed probate practitioner. Um, don't get to do as much of that as I used to because obviously I'm heading a conveyancing department, and Jackson Lees has a very well established and really good wills, trust, and probate department of its own. Um, what I like is obviously Jackson Lees is the sort of firm that can offer a holistic level of legal services to clients, um, which means that if in the conveyancing department a client suddenly has an issue about wanting to raise a will, or sadly there's been a death in the family and they need probate, then I can literally walk down the corridor and have a conversation with a colleague from that department, and and then you're working together, to get the client's needs met, and it's really good because obviously again with my kind of learning and development side on, what my colleagues in wills and probate are doing has some bearing on conveyancing. My staff get to learn from them, they get to learn from us, but you're also keeping those clients' wishes within the business because you can offer that service.
Yeah.
And collaboration in that sense is really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And if someone else was kind of maybe getting to the same, stage of their career that you were at before you joined Jackson Lees, and we're thinking, okay, this all sounds great. I'd love to kind of have that experience of coming in, the final stage potentially of my career before I retire, and have the opportunity to pass on that knowledge. I'm guessing that you would recommend Jackson Lees as a great place to do that.
Yeah, obviously I had my decision was kind of individual to me. I don't think it matters what age you are if you're thinking of joining Jackson Lees, and at what stage you are in your career. I think if you are looking to develop in your specialised area, whatever that might be, I think the advantage is that Jackson Lees, there's very few areas of law that we don't cover. And I think that if you have got the opportunity to come and say work for our course protection department, or we do immigration law, there's lots of things in areas that we do, not just the kind of conveyancing and private client stuff. As I say, it ties in with that holistic approach to clients. Then Jackson Lee's a genuinely good firm to work for, and a much more broader experience once you join than I imagine you would get in any other firm.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that point you made earlier as well about the different routes into the profession at the moment. I mean, we here at Realm get so many questions, people contacting us all the time, potentially law graduates or those studying law at the moment, to kind of ask us about those routes, because I don't think even now there's that much information out there that's kind of clearly set out as to what those routes are, how you access them, and kind of what is involved. So I guess I'd also encourage anyone that was thinking about different routes into law to get in touch with Jackson Lees as well, because it could be that there's an opportunity there for them, or certainly some information there for them to
Yeah,
kind of learn about. Yeah.
definitely a conversation with my colleagues in our training academy, because they really understand the procedures and the processes for qualifying down the different routes. Obviously, mine has been mostly a vocational route, but I've got family members who've gone through university and then gone, down that academic route as well. So, but the training academy are the right people to speak to, and even if there's not a vacancy yet, you with me,
Yeah,
ring up and have a chat with them, because we're always on the lookout for good people to join us.
sure. And finally, John, tell us something we don't yet know about Jackson Lees.
Yeah, bit of a strange question, that, because for me, I'd probably want to reverse it, because I think Jackson Lees is one of the few firms that I've worked with where actually what you get is what you see, and they're exceptionally good at letting the public know, letting members of the industry know that what we're up to. Our social medias, everyone's encouraged to kind of say what we're up to and all the rest of it. So I think actually Jackson Lees is quite an open organisation.
Everyone
Um,
knows everything, hopefully, if
yeah,
they know
and
where to look.
yeah. So and I think I would really struggle to come up with something I don't think people wouldn't already know about Jackson Lees, but I think that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, everyone can go and follow you on LinkedIn and find out more about the firm. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today, John. Thank you so much. And I know we're filming this on a Friday, and I know conveyancing is super, super busy on a Friday. So we'll let you get back to your clients and making that positive difference. So thank you so much for joining us.
And you, thanks very much, Sarah.
Thank
Cheers.
you.